So just on that aspect, that more basically flows coming out of the traditional banking system going to alternative asset managers. Are these guys, I mean, I would think banks, the one thing they should be really good at is credit.
Yeah.
Are they sometimes coming to you guys, look, how do you do it, or well, what can we learn from you?
Well, I think, if I was to ask people around the room, who all had worked at a bank, a traditional bank earlier in their career, I'm sure many hands would go up. The amount of human capital that has come from the traditional banking industry to the alternative side of the business, to private equity, to private credit, all sorts of the alternative world, it's a massive number of people. So since 08, 09, in the US and Europe, the transition of talent has been extraordinary.
They make more money in private equity.
Well, it's also from being an agent to being a principal. And I think that has a lot to do with it in terms of what's expected of you and your skill set. And for the most part, companies are smaller and more nimble, and that entrepreneurial mindset takes place. But so you have a massive amount of human capital going from the sell side to the buy side. In addition, certainly the regulatory regime in the U.S. and Europe has been much more challenging in terms of forcing banks out of that type of risk. Many examples I can point to give you, but the reality is, I think in this continent, between Solvency II and Solvency III, the activities that really encouraged banks to be, optimizing their capital, they've really forced them to be much more thoughtful about business lines that they're in and how they think about the expansion of their business. It's no surprise that a lot of the institutions in Europe own big asset management businesses.
Correct.
Where in the U.S. And maybe other parts of the globe, they probably have sold those businesses. And again, it gets back to ROE and other types of capital regime issues.